400 years. 400 years from the last word in the Old Testament to the first word in the New. For 400 years, the Israelites are waiting for God to do something, for the Messiah to come. And then finally, after 400 years, he's announced. And he's announced to an old priest in the temple, and he's announced to a poor country girl named Mary. And he's announced after 400 years he's coming, but he hasn't been born yet. So they have to wait another year. And then he's born, and then finally the King of the universe walks into the temple, the very thing that was carried into the temple, the very thing that was dedicated to him, and he's a baby. And we know that another 30 years are needed until Jesus is in the fullness of his ministry. And then Jesus grows up, and he lives, and he dies, and he spends 3 days in a tomb before he rises again. Why not 2? Why not 5? But 3. And then he raises, and then he spends 40 days on the earth. And after this 40 days, he tells his disciples, essentially, I'm going to my Father, but I'm going to send you the Holy Spirit. He's going to equip you for the work of the ministry. And so Jesus ascends into heaven, and they're all watching him. And then 2 angels appear, and they say, hey, get to work. So they go to the temple, worshiping the Lord. They go back to this house, 120 of them, and they're praying in one accord. And they don't know how long it's going to take. And we know from the story it takes 10 days. For 10 days, they're waiting for the Spirit to show up. Can you imagine day 9? They're thinking, we're running out of food and money. How long's this guy supposed to take? Peter may be thinking, I've messed up so bad, this guy ain't coming. They probably were really going through it, but day 10, the Spirit arrives. And here's what I want you to gather. God never runs on the timing that we expect. God does not run on our clock, we run on his clock. God does not run on our timing, we run on his timing. And so God never seems to work the way we expect them to. If you read the Gospels, the disciples are perpetually confused. And a good example of this is Jesus finally the King of the universe steps off the throne to come to earth to slay the dragon of old. And he comes as an infant. He just never works the way we expect him to. And at the same time, God's timing is always different. He chooses Abraham, an old man, to start his line. He has a child at 90 or whatever he was. Moses is 80 when God calls him to free a people. David is pronounced king of Israel from Samuel, and 10 years need to go by, or 20 years, or whatever it turned out to be. God's timing's just always different. And so this is what I really want to encourage you with. Why? God often waits 5 minutes till midnight for the purpose that when we have exhausted every other resource, when we've tried everything that we have at our disposal to save ourselves from whatever, that when the miracle finally comes 5 till, we know who it came from. God often waits till the last moment so that his glory may be magnified, so that we know beyond a shadow of a doubt, he did it. He saved me. And then our greatest sources of griefs, our greatest trials become the very thing that champion us into eternity, the very things that fulfill us with the most gratitude for him and most joy in him, and they become the source of some of our greatest blessings. And so if you're going through it right now, if you're being trialed right now, God sees you, he sees you, and he loves you. Rest in him. Because his timing might not be the timing you want, but it's the timing we need. So I love you guys. Thanks for watching.